All right, so this is what I told you about when I released the last podcast. There's going to be a couple of these coming through your feed, and when you see HDP BJJ, okay, you're going to know that this is an interview I did with somebody in the Jiu-Jitsu world. And if you don't have enough time to listen to it, I understand it. I know I've got a handful of Upland hunters that do Jiu-Jitsu, so they're probably going to be like, oh, great, Ron. I love hearing stories. But I'll tell you that the 9 years that I've been doing this sport, this exercise, it's the only thing I can come close to in the upland world when it comes to meeting new people. Told you when I did the last intro, I'm going out to Kansas to hunt with some people I've never met. I met one person on a Zoom call. Never met the rest of them. And I totally know that when I get there, we're going to be on the same page. And I will tell you that this school that I go to, Academy 231 in Muskegon, Michigan, is just like meeting everybody at hunting camp. Now, we only get together for an hour and a half, try to kill each other, try to choke each other and break each other's arms. But it's the same kind of camaraderie. I can go into it, and I'll go into a little bit in this episode, what it's like starting jiu-jitsu, what it was like for me, and it's just something I'm going to put in the feed for right now. You like it, you don't like it, you don't have to listen to it. Of course you don't have to listen to it. But I got a feeling that most hunters, especially the ones that listen to this show, are actually people who love conversations. As much as they love their passion, whether it's conservation or dogs or breeding or hunt testing or just hunting, whatever it is you love conversations. And I'll bet you a few of you have tuned into other podcasts that are not in this genre and were like, oh, God, that was such a good conversation. And I think I can find those conversations in the jiu-jitsu gym and beyond. So like I said, this may be a monthly thing. It might be a weekly thing. It probably will not stay in the Hunting Dog podcast feed for very long, but I would love you. I don't usually ask anybody to go to iTunes ratings and reviews. I used to do that all the time. We still have the most ratings and reviews of any podcast in this genre. But I would love it if some of you said, Ron, that was great. Just a great conversation. This is with a young person. We're diametrically opposed. I don't mean like politically or anything else. You talk about an age gap. This girl could be my granddaughter. Just like when you go hunting with somebody that is way younger than you or way older than you, like that age barrier goes away. And I think most of my listeners love conversations. They have to, or they wouldn't listen to podcasts. So I hope you enjoy this, and I hope I get some feedback. And I'm serious. You're not going to hurt my feelings. I got leather. I got a leather hide. I can take it. And if you say, Ron, if you ever put another BJJ episode on this feed, I'm going to quit listening. Well, you might quit listening, but I'll probably put it on another feed. But if you say, Ron, keep them coming, I'll keep them coming. But I want to know what you think. I want to know if you are conversations, real conversations, the intriguing part, or is it just the dogs and just the shotguns? Anyway, I hope you enjoy this. It's me and Haley sitting on the mat at the gym right after we got done fighting. Talk to you soon.
Do you have questions set?
No, the questions are all in my head.
Oh, right, yeah.
Just like all of my imaginary friends and my, everything's in my head.
Yeah.
It's if you ever look in there, it's.
That'd be a
all right,
lot.
everybody. This has never been done before. Everybody knows the Hunting Dog podcast that's listening to this, and you're wondering, why does the title of this one say HDP BJJ? Well, the reason is, I think it's going on 7 or 8 years now that I've been doing jiu-jitsu. And I found a school here in Muskegon, Michigan that has become my home away from home. What's the name of this school again, Haley?
Academy 231.
That's right, 231. We love this place. And one of the young, I don't want to say phenoms, just young practitioners here is Haley Westcomb. And Haley one day said to me, she goes, hey, would you sponsor me in the tournament series? I said, no, I won't. But maybe we could do a podcast and see if anybody likes it. So this may or may not be the full name of this show down the road, but for right now, the first episode is going to be called My First Roll. Now, before you guys all tune out, don't tune out yet, just listen. I'm going to make some analogies here. Jiu-Jitsu is, to me, the strangest sport you could get involved with, okay? And that being because you put yourself, the first day in class, you put yourself into a position or no position, and you have no clue. And for those who do jiu-jitsu, because I know I'm in contact with all the people who listen to my show that do jiu-jitsu, those people are familiar with that feels like, going new to something. So I'm going to start out with Haley. And Haley, you are 20 years old. Or you're going to turn 21 pretty quick, aren't you?
Soon, yes.
Yeah, because last year you were bragging that you were out of your teens.
Yep.
So what's your journey? Well, before jiu-jitsu, did you do sports?
Yeah, I played a lot of sports. I played soccer, softball, basketball, all through high school. I was big into sports. I loved the competition, the adrenaline. So after high school, I was like, I need something.
I think it's going to be fine. We might have a little background compressor noise.
Okay. I need something still. So I searched up in my Google martial arts, and Academy 231 popped up. So almost 2 years later, here I am.
So did you do this right out of high school?
No. I didn't. I worked 2 years TIG welding.
That's what I remember when I met you. You worked in with your welding boots on.
Yep, my welding boots.
And your blue shirt with your name on it from the plant.
Yep.
And I was like, I'm going to show this girl some welds on my dog box. Remember that?
Yes, I remember that. Yep.
And you claimed that you could weld just as good.
And I can.
Can you?
Yep.
But so where I was going was, all right, go back to the first time you played basketball, right? Mm-hmm. You could watch, like if there was 10 people in the stands that never played basketball and they watched a basketball game, right? They could kind of figure it out.
Right.
I mean, it wouldn't look good. They'd miss their shots.
Yeah.
They would double dribble and probably trip on each other.
Yep.
But if you put a uniform on them with a number and you put a camera on them for a few segments or a few sections of that basketball game of brand newbies, it would look like they're playing basketball.
Yeah, it looked like they know somewhat what they're doing.
They know somewhat what they're doing.
Yeah.
If you were to go bowling, did you ever bowl?
Yeah. Not good at it, though.
Right. But have you ever thrown a strike?
Yeah, I have, actually.
Right. You know what happens your first day on the mat in jiu-jitsu? You don't throw no strikes.
Oh, no.
There's no luck.
Nope, not even a spar.
There's not even a bit of luck. And so my analogy to this also goes to dogs. I cannot tell you how many people write me all the time, and they want to know what to do about this, how to do this, how to do. And I'm kind of like, they kind of remind me of the jiu-jitsu journey in a segment that they want something. They have no idea what they're getting into. Not a clue. You can't watch it on YouTube and learn it.
Right, yeah.
You could learn to golf. Like, I could go golfing tomorrow.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna get a good score.
No, but
I could put a swing over my shoulder and hit a ball off a tee, right?
yeah.
What made you said you Googled martial arts?
Yeah, so originally I was looking into getting into boxing or some type of striking, but we don't really have that around here. It's normally in Grand Rapids, and I did not want to drive that far, so I figured jiu-jitsu would be the next best thing. Learning.
Did you know anybody that did it?
No, nobody. Nope.
Did you do it? You didn't do wrestling in high school,
No,
right?
I
Did you have
didn't.
a girls wrestling
No.
team? So you didn't even have the wrestling background?
No, nothing. Just competitiveness.
Just competitiveness.
Yep.
So, all right, your first day in class.
Okay.
Can you try to remember, you had to sign up, right?
Yep.
And you had to get a gi.
Yep.
Did you Google? Were you Google? Because being a younger person, you're the age of my grandkid.
Yeah,
you could be my
Googling
In fact, your
everything.
nickname here is Anklin, my
Yes.
granddaughter.
Yep.
Did you get the gi ahead of time? Were you preparing for this?
No.
I already got my gi washed, so it doesn't look new.
No. I came in and I got my gi the first day.
Just
of
right off the
training.
rack.
Yeah, right off the rack. Yep.
And learn to tie your knot.
Yep. Learned to tie my belt.
Yep. And went into class.
Went into class. Not really have high expectations at all. I was like, I know I'm gonna suck.
So this wasn't an open mat class. For
No.
people who don't know open mat, we get together 2, 3, sometimes 4 times a week, and we just kind of, roll and fight with each other without organized lesson plan. And then there's regular morning and night classes, kids classes, which you teach.
Yep.
Right? But now you've been at this 2 years.
Almost 2 years. 2 years this summer.
2 years this. That's all?
Yeah. I'm not even at my
I've been
2
at
year.
this gym longer than you.
I'm not even at my 2-year mark. Yep.
And what was your first, did you get set up? Because there's not a lot of girls in class.
No.
So,
Well, at first, so how I came into it, we had a women's beginners program. So it was just all women. Obviously, this was like the first class that ever happened for women. So every girl there was brand new.
Ooh,
Nobody,
that's good.
Yeah, nobody knew anything. Some of the girls that I started with in that class still come. Some of them, a couple. It was unorganized, not by the
Just
coaches,
by talent,
but just
by,
us. We were just
you're all new.
awkward, and we didn't know where to put our hands. We didn't know where to grab, but we did just basic trap and rolls or like hold full mount. So it was really basic stuff that we needed to know before we learned like how to choke somebody or
Right.
an arm bar.
So in that beginner's level class, were you at the end of class? There was no rolling yet, probably.
No, we did not
You guys
roll.
just
No.
learning some basic techniques, how to get on
Yep.
top of each other, how to
Yes.
get out from underneath,
Yep.
how to avoid being choked, maybe.
Yeah.
When was Steve running the class or somebody else?
Eldest.
Eldest was.
Yes.
So when was the first time you had a comfort level to roll, or when did Albus? I never get that word. It always sounds like Elvis.
It does sound like Elvis.
Sorry, Elvis.
Eldest.
Eldest.
I'd say probably 2 weeks, week and a half in 2 classes, which we only had the women's beginners class twice a week, Tuesdays
Right.
and Thursdays. So it took a while for us to even get comfortable trying to go like full sparring.
Right.
I'd go home from just classes and just watch videos, how to set up an arm bar, how to do a triangle.
Oh, so you were.
We didn't even.
But you didn't really do that before you owned the gi.
No, not before the gi. Nope. I just went in. I watched a couple videos, not necessarily how to do this and how
Well,
to
you
do
can
that.
watch
but
MMA fights too and see some jiu-jitsu, but
Yeah.
there's no narration to it.
No, there's not. So I would watch videos and I'd come in. First day we sparred, I tried to do this arm bar on this girl, and they were just like, "What in the?" And I was like, "I watched a video." And God, I did it wrong, but I mean,
But
I
you
tried.
got your leg over and you grabbed her arm
Yeah.
and you leaned backwards.
Yep, but we got to control the wrist, make sure the thumb's pointing up. Did I do that? No, I did not.
You just grabbed the arm.
I just grabbed the arm, fell back.
Now,
It didn't work.
With I don't know if this happens. I have an advantage. I'm the oldest person in this school.
Yes.
Probably will be the oldest person in this school till I die.
Probably.
And then Todd will take over
Yeah.
after that.
Probably.
My ego was checked at the door 30 years ago. So there's no way that a 67-year-old guy can be competitive and even with a 47-year-old guy unless that guy's brand new.
Right. Yeah.
But you mentioned you're competitive in school. You really liked. Did you hate losing? Like when your
Yes,
team
I
lost?
hated
Were you
losing.
one of those really crabby babies?
Yes. Yep.
Mom and dad couldn't talk to you when you got
Yep.
home?
Nope.
So you go try this arm bar. Did you feel you were going to be better at it than? I mean, seriously, because I've done things like that, not in jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, I did.
You just
I
had
felt
this.
like that.
You felt like that.
Yeah, I did.
Do you think it came from the sports? Do you think there's something inside you? If it was a different sport, you'd be this.
I just want to be the best at everything.
Do
And that's
you?
probably not a good thing, but I mean, it could be good and bad, but I
Yeah.
just want to be the best.
Well, at least do your best.
Right.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
for sure.
So it's a pretty short trajectory. What people don't know is it's not mandatory by any means. Maybe it is in some schools around the country because jiu-jitsu is so big now. I mean, there's millions of people doing this stuff. some schools probably may require tournaments, but this school is not mandatory to go to a tournament and prove yourself.
Yeah.
How long before from when you started, did you go to your first tournament?
So I started in June, and I did my first tournament in August.
So
June, July, August.
June, July, August.
Yeah,
but
3 months.
Yeah, but unless it was the last day of August, you're probably under 3 months of.
Yeah. Yep.
And where was that tournament at?
Grand Rapids.
And no, I wasn't at that one.
No, you
No,
weren't.
I went into winter one. What happened at that tournament?
So going into it, there was one girl in my bracket, and then I get there that day, and then she backed out. So I'm like, well, I'm here. I paid. Now I don't have nobody in my bracket.
Right.
So I go up to the desk thing, and they're like, oh, that sucks. Well, we have this girl here that you can go against. Mind you, this girl is like 30 years old. She is a blue belt, which I was a white belt.
You're a 2-month white belt.
2-month white belt, no stripe on my little white belt, nothing. This girl's a blue belt, and she works for the tournament company.
Oh.
I'm like, oh, okay. But also, she was 4'11". So
Okay.
she's quite shorter than me.
Right.
She's a little stocky.
Yeah.
But, man, was I fighting for my life. She was little, but she was mighty. I was fighting for my life. She didn't tap me in either match, but, oh, man, I lost.
Did you do gi and no gi?
I just did gi, because at that time I was not doing no gi at all,
Okay.
because I was shy under 3 months still, just training.
Still learning how to hang onto a collar of a gi.
Yeah, still learning where to grab,
Yeah.
learning how to keep somebody in full mount.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I was just out there surviving.
So what did that 30-year-old 4'11" person do to you?
She was choking me. She was grabbing my legs. Oh, my goodness. It was bad. But I survived. I was just out there. I didn't get tapped. I didn't get...
You made the 5 minutes.
I made the 5 minutes, but, oh, was it a long 5 minutes? 10 minutes, actually, because there was 2 matches.
Yeah.
But I was stoked. I still got second by default.
Well, I
was still
got
stoked.
third by default.
did,
I
you
got
did,
third by
yeah.
losing.
Yeah.
Hey,
but
there's a lot of. I mean, we're going to go over a few people's heads, but with elimination tournaments, if there's 4 people, there's going to be 2 third-place losers, basically.
Right. Yep.
Second place is also a loser, but
Yeah.
they won their first match.
Yep.
I'd be happy to get a second place someday.
I was stoked. Yeah.
All right, so now you got 3 months, almost 3 months
Yep.
under your belt, and you got no stripes on your belt.
No
I should
stripes on
explain
my
this
belt.
for the newbies who have not,
Yeah.
for my dog listening friends who have not turned this off yet and said, Ron, when are we going to get to the dogs part? We're not. We're talking about jiu-jitsu, my second passion in life. Dogs come first, jiu-jitsu comes second. And for people who don't know, when you start with a white belt. There's a black embroidered tip on it, and your teacher, your coach, professor, some people call them, they put when you've reached a certain level of skill, they will put a white piece of what do you call that tape?
Tape.
Athletic tape.
Yeah.
On there, and it's called a 1 stripe, and then you can earn a 2nd stripe and a 3rd stripe and a 4th stripe. And then at some point, if you're ever worthy of it, if your coach feels like you've learned more things, you've shown, a great participation level, a great attitude, you're a real member of the gym, at some point you'll get a blue belt. But we're going a little fast on that part for you
Yeah.
because you were a white belt for a while,
I was a white belt for a year.
over a year.
A year.
A year
Year and a
over-
month.
A year and a month?
Year and a month.
Oh, you keep forgetting. I keep thinking you started when I started in April.
No, year and a month.
And you had your stripes,
I got all 4 stripes on my white belt.
but that was pretty fast, wasn't
That
it?
was pretty fast, yeah. Well, that was because March I quit my full-time job and I started training full-time every
Just
single
living
class.
at the gym.
Just living at the gym.
Just
Yep.
that only a 19-year-old living at home could do.
Yeah. Yep.
How's your parents with this?
They love it.
They love it?
Secretly, they're like, oh my gosh, I gotta pay for this, I gotta pay for that. But
Well,
they
we said that
love
about
it.
my kids too. But as long as they're doing something they like, it's better
Right,
than doing something
yeah.
you don't like them doing.
Exactly.
But there's a tournament that came up after that tournament. Now, which is the one where you really you felt like you had the national championship?
Oh yeah. So I did a couple tournaments in between
The first one with the short lady.
And then the one where I got double gold. So the ones in between, I mean, I did good. I've gotten disqualified, unfortunately.
You did?
Yes.
What'd you do?
The following one after my first one, the guy said I slammed the girl, but I really didn't.
Slamming would be kind of like if they're hanging on to you too much, you slam them to the ground like WWE wrestling kind of slam.
I didn't really slam her though, but oh well. I got second place, and then I did another one. I got second place again. I was getting second place a lot, and I was so pissed.
Was there enough matches to get the second?
Yes, there was.
So
it wasn't default.
It wasn't just the default.
No,
seconds.
It wasn't default.
It was like I beat somebody.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
And so like those tournaments, at that point I don't know why, but I did get a stripe after I got default second at my first tournament. I was like, I do not deserve this, but I did get a stripe. So I'm a one stripe white belt, and I'm going against 4 stripe white belts. And at the time, I'm like, oh my gosh, like they're gonna kill me. I was so just mentally defeated thinking about that.
Yeah.
And I ended up beating them. So really, stripes, you can look at stripes and be like, oh my gosh, but really they don't really matter, especially because different gyms, different expectations from
some
professors.
are a little more self-defense based,
Yeah.
but then the students go on to compete. The
Right.
school might not compete a lot.
Right.
So they might know better stand-up street self-defense jiu-jitsu than you.
Exactly.
But
which isn't equivalent to competing jiu-jitsu.
No, it's different.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty mean. Well, it's kind of mean on the streets too, but
Yeah.
My first tournament, I didn't realize that it was going to be a real fight.
Yeah, you were kind of going in there a little
I think
nonchalantly.
I went in there thinking, well, shit, I've been in construction my whole life, and everybody loves me at my gym. There's no way that anybody else like me does jiu-jitsu at 67 years old.
Right, yeah.
Apparently there was.
There was, yeah.
Kind of like that, well, this was not a 4'11" person. This was a 6'6" person.
Yeah.
Same thing, though. I remember feeling like, holy cow, this person means it.
Yeah.
Like,
Yep.
it's not like in class.
Yeah, because in class you're kind of like, it's your training partner. You see them every day. You don't want to be.
It can get rough.
Yeah. You don't want to be completely a douche.
But you're not going to grind her ear with your forehead.
Right, exactly. Which in competition, people do not care.
No.
They will put their forearm on your throat. It's out there fighting. It's not like at the gym.
So compare that back to what was a best high school team kind of. Did you have one of your teams were basketball better than soccer, or was there anything where you shined it a little bit in
soccer? For sure.
Soccer?
I played soccer for like 8 years.
Oh, grade school and high school.
Yeah,
so you've scored a few goals.
Yeah, I was mainly goalie though.
Oh, well, that's the hardest job.
It is pretty hard, yeah. So
or at least stress-wise.
Yeah, yep. But I did play midfielder. I scored some goals, saved a lot of goals. But soccer was definitely my number one compared to like softball and basketball.
And not that your age difference is very much, but what did it feel like winning a jiu-jitsu tournament compared to stopping a goal and winning a game? Or was it similar?
Oh, completely different.
Was it?
Soccer's more of a team sport.
Well, of course it's a team, but is there an I in team, or do they say there is no I in team? It's just us.
I was more the I in team kind of person.
Were you?
But, I mean, everybody says, oh, this is a team sport, it's a team sport.
Did you try to hit a goal instead of pass?
Oh, of course. All the time.
So that kind of related to your jiu-jitsu.
I was a ball hog.
Oh.
When I was out there, I was a ball hog.
Oh.
They're like, pass. I was like, no, you suck.
No, I'm going to score.
Yeah.
I'm going to score.
You're just going to lose the ball, so.
What was the tournament where you got your new tattoo?
Yes, so I got my tattoo, Academy 231 tattoo right on my leg. Then I went and competed, and the bracket, there was a lot of girls, and I was like, oh, shit, usually there isn't that many. You're going to be fighting
a lot of times.
Yeah, I'm going to have a lot of matches. So at this point, I was training gi and no gi. So I signed up for both gi and no gi at the tournament. It's like, I'm going to have a lot of matches, but I'm going to die for this tattoo. I'm going to do it.
So you got the tattoo before
I got the tattoo prior to this tournament, yep. So I went out there. First was gi. I won all of them by submission. I'm pretty sure they're all like triangles to armbar, which is
just classic.
My go-to, yeah, classic. And then same with no gi. Won them all, so I got double gold. My head was huge. I'm not going to lie, my head was huge. And I finished all of the matches so fast.
So you probably weren't even tired. I
No,
mean,
not,
to speak of.
a little bit, but like not really. I just feel like other gyms they don't train to compete. They train to just train as a hobby. So we train here, we train hard, we train to compete. So I feel like I wouldn't say it wasn't a challenge because obviously there were parts and times that it was, but I feel like I don't want to say easy, but it was good.
But you weren't up against 12 other people that had no experience. I'm sure they didn't have much more time on the mat than you.
Some yes, some no. So it was kind of mixed.
Just tell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Like some knew what they were doing for sure. I just capitalized on their mistakes and then made my move there.
7 for 7.
Yep, 7 for 7. That's what it was. Because then on my other leg, I have 777 tattoo. So it was quite a coincidence that I had 7 matches, 7 subs, 7 opponents.
And then, well, wait, is that when you got your blue belt?
No.
No, you were.
Nope.
That's right. You didn't get your blue belt.
Nope,
I would have gave you a blue belt for that.
I know. And then, no, Steve felt like I still had more
things to learn.
Yeah, because then I did another tournament, 2 more actually before I got my blue belt. I went out to Detroit, and obviously the listeners don't know, but Detroit for jiu-jitsu is quite, it's way more.
Way more schools.
Yeah.
Way more gritty. Way more.
Yeah, it's harder.
I mean, that'd be like going to New York. You want to double up Detroit? Go to New York and do jiu-jitsu.
Yeah. So I went to Detroit. I won 4 matches, I want to say, and lost 1 in the gi division. Or no, won all my matches in gi, lost 1 in no gi. So I got gold and silver. Which the girl I lost to, she's big. She cut weight. I was just a little out there. Her strength was crazy. So I just kind of got.
That was in no gi?
Yeah.
Yep. So I should explain, if a couple people are wondering, we don't take our gis off. It's a different uniform.
Right.
We take our gis off. Well, when you roll in gi, people refer to them as pajamas because they're pretty comfy.
Yeah.
Until they're choked, until they're wrapped around your neck.
Right.
In a no-gi, you would wear something the equivalent of the people that I detest on 10-speed bicycles in a bike race. You wear like what would you call a rash guard?
A rash guard. It's kind of just like a compression
shorts
shirt.
Or pants and compression top.
Yep.
So there's no lapels to grab onto. There's no belt to grab onto. You have to use jiu-jitsu technique, but it's a lot more like wrestling.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing to hang on to.
Yep.
You can't grab. If a girl has a ponytail like you, can you grab it?
No.
Or is that legal?
No, you cannot.
Well, in
grab
football,
the hair.
you can tackle a guy by the hair hanging on the back of the helmet.
No, you can't grab the hair.
No? I bet you they have, though.
Probably.
So when did you go? You went to, you're not a very big person. You're like 5 foot, what?
4, maybe 5'5".
Yeah.
120.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you went to Nashville then.
Yes, after I got my blue belt.
That's right.
After I got my blue belt, I went to Cleveland first to compete at.
Is that IBJJF?
Yes.
Yeah.
At a bigger tournament.
Right.
So, Grappling Industries,
a little more
local.
Right. A little more broad talent
Yeah, IBJJF is more of a bigger tournament, more
it's an international organization too. Yeah.
So I went to Cleveland, first blue belt tournament. I got double bronze, so gi and no-gi double bronze. I won 2 matches out of 5, I want to say.
Yeah.
And it was tough. It was hard. It was nothing like white belt. And at that point, I'm like, oh, I want my white belt back. But I wanted my blue belt so bad. I'm like, I can't even say that out loud. Yeah.
But, you went to another division. Those people could have been blue belts for a whole year.
Right. And some of them were like 6 years. This one girl, she was a blue belt for like 6 years.
That's the story of my life.
She spanked me.
Did she?
She spanked me, yeah. She's really good, really fast. And I just wasn't expecting that. I was used to just like the local, Fuji Grappling Industries where it's not so much as like, everybody wants to win, obviously, but it's just a lot more intense. Yeah,
the more time you bring in a bigger circumference of area of people coming in, you're going to get some killers in there.
Yeah, yep.
And people who like after rolling with her, you know if she's going to stick with it with jiu-jitsu.
Oh yeah, for
It's
sure.
like if you didn't run into her for 20 years, you'd see her with a black belt. It would not surprise you.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Are we going to see you in a black belt in 20 years?
Oh, for sure.
It's not going to take 20 though.
No, maybe 9.
Maybe 9. Like the standard.
Well,
9
I
or
say
10.
9 because since Steve just got his black belt, I'm pretty sure you have to have a black belt for 9 years in order to give another black belt. So I say 9 years.
Okay.
9 years.
No, he could do that. I think he can do that.
Pretty sure.
Do you?
Yeah.
Well, if he was here, we'd ask him.
But he isn't.
But he's not.
But he's not.
He might be on the next episode.
Maybe.
So, your competitiveness does not come out in your demeanor.
You don't think?
No. Like, I get out here on the mat and I start walking around like Rocky waiting for a fight, and everybody else is over on the couch slowly putting their gis on. How do you turn that on from being off? Like, or were you, all right, put it this way, were you like that before a soccer game? Could you lay around and watch TV and look at your phone and then, boom, go play soccer? Could
yeah,
you?
I could. I don't know what it is, but yeah, that's how it is.
You
I
know, it
don't
goes in-
have like a warm up.
You're not on all the time.
No, I'm not on all the time.
You're sleeping half the time.
Half the time I am sleeping, yes.
You know, in the dog world, we call that an off switch.
Okay.
Like a good house dog that doesn't get into the garbage, lays down, comes over for a pet, and then he lays down again. He waits to get dinner. He doesn't annoy you while he's in the house, right? But then when you take him hunting,
Oh, it's just like a switch.
it's like,
total different dog.
let me go.
Yeah.
So
total
you
different.
have a canine off switch. See, I don't have that. I'm like
You're on all the time.
I'm on all the time, but I'm not on high. I'm just
Yeah,
on
I
medium high.
You're on all the time, though. That's for sure.
I'm usually on.
Yeah.
Well, your journey is, I guess so. I can remember my first actual role. The school I went to, there was a couple we did some trap and rolls, and we practiced the old arm bar where you
Push
put
on
your
the
hand,
chest,
push on the
yeah.
chest, swing your leg
Swing your
around, and
leg
my
around.
short little old legs weren't
Yeah.
doing nothing. But
Yeah.
then one day, it was probably like the same thing. A few weeks into it, the teacher said, "You want to roll?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And I thought, again, I was 58 at the time, and there was this guy who's about the size of Eric, not as heavy as Eric, but as big as Eric,
Yeah.
you know. And his name was Ben, and I think Ben must have stuck with it. He was a go-getter.
So you were probably thinking, oh, God.
I was like, I wouldn't pick a fight with him in a bar.
Right. Yeah.
And all he did the first time he got his weight on me and got a front mount and started putting some pressure on me, I tapped the mat. And he goes, "What are you doing?" I said, "I tapped." He goes, "I didn't do anything." I said, I couldn't breathe. He goes, "Of course you could breathe." I'm like, "No, he goes, "You're just scared."
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it is such a,
Well, there's nothing like it. Nothing like it. Feeling that, especially for the first time, a first roll.
that's where every one of these episodes I do, I want to kind of capture that. It's almost it's definitely a fear.
Yeah, for sure.
But if you come in here like so many kids do these days, not so many, I shouldn't say that, whatever it is, 10, 15, 20%, if you wrestled in high school, it's not going to be that foreign to you.
Right. Yeah.
Because you're used to somebody trying to bend you in half and putting all their weight. But in wrestling, they're not going to waste time trying to collapse your diaphragm
Right,
with
yeah.
their diaphragm.
Yeah.
They're trying to get your shoulders pinned.
Yep.
And the best part about rolling with it, what do you like rolling about with a new wrestler that doesn't know jiu-jitsu?
Get under him real easy.
Real easy.
Yeah.
Because he didn't think you wanted to be underneath him.
Right, exactly.
And you're like, "Go ahead, get on top of me.
Yeah,
Let me show you what I could do."
Yeah, exactly.
We should have some video to accompany this at some point. But, well, it's gonna be a long time before I see a purple belt. But I think, what do you think?
Maybe
Another
just-
year for you, maybe?
I don't know.
do you
I got
think?
a lot of planned. I got a lot planned for 2025, so we'll see.
A lot of tournaments?
Maybe in the middle of 26.
All right, let's make a prediction. Let's see. See, I'd have to probably agree with that, too.
Yeah, middle
Because you
of
don't have any
26.
stripes on your blue yet,
No, I
do you?
don't.
Oh, wait. I'm going to go fall. You go summer, I'll go fall.
Well, I mean, I guess it doesn't. That's why stripes don't necessarily matter. I mean, I've seen people get a new belt with 2 stripes.
Yep, I did.
Because, I mean, yeah.
My
See, so you
first
don't
teacher.
have to necessarily have all 4 stripes before you get the next belt. I mean, I guess it just depends on your teacher, your coach.
Yeah. But it's an
But,
indicator that you're
yeah,
you're coming along.
right, yeah.
So a good psych for you, because it would be like, don't give Haley any stripes whatsoever for a year in 3 months. Like, no stripes.
Yeah, no
And see if
stripes.
you're
I'd be
quit and
like,
see if you're a
"Damn."
quitter.
I would not quit.
Would you quit?
No, never. I'm never quitting.
Never.
Never. Nope. I love this. This is my life.
Well, I would not say it's my life, but it is a huge chunk of my life.
For sure. Yeah.
I get to come in here and get beat up by a bunch of young people. And every once in a while, when I get a new young people,
Oh, you're scouting them.
I'm like, oh, come on, let's roll. I'll go real easy on them and just do about 4 things to them. Go like, it does work. It really does work. But it's, I'm telling you, for my listeners, I hope at least the jiu-jitsu listeners are still listening.
Yeah, hopefully.
If you haven't done it, and I don't care if you're my age, and this goes to you, Bruce and Terry, and all my old fart friends, Dave, my neighbor Chuck, my daughter's father-in-law, Chris. You know what his name is? Chris Rock.
Oh, jeez.
But it's not Chris Rock,
Yeah,
obviously.
obviously.
Get your butt into the gym.
Yeah, it's never too late to start.
I'm proof of that.
Yeah.
Or too early.
Right, yeah.
You started as a teenager.
Well, yeah, 19.
What do you think about the little kids that you is it more of a you remember kiddie soccer, like little
Yeah.
kid, like where it's really not even soccer.
Right, you're just doing,
Right.
yeah.
What is the kids' jiu-jitsu? At what point do they start getting it? How old do they have to be? I mean, to where it's they're getting a little.
Well, the kids' classes that we have, they're little kids, so that's from ages, I want to say 4 or 5 to 7, and then we have big kids class, so it's like 8 to 12, I think,
Yeah.
something like that. Honestly,
8 to 12s, I bet, can do some stuff.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
they've gotten honestly pretty good. They know, to be honest, they know more than some of like our white belts.
Right, or adults.
Yeah.
Well, I can tell you why. If it's mostly guys, because there's mostly guys in jiu-jitsu.
Right, yeah.
I think jiu-jitsu and hunting are very much the same. It's about 10% women
Yeah.
out in the field and hunting, and it's probably couldn't be more than 10% here. If you look at our group pictures,
Yeah.
It's probably if there was 100 people there, there'd be 10, maybe 15 women,
Maybe.
Yeah. And guys don't learn to dance as well as girls.
No, they don't.
Don't. I mean, like if I'm going back to my high school days. Like every girl in 7th grade could dance on a Friday night,
Oh,
right?
for sure.
And
Yeah.
the boys, we were over in a corner like hiding.
Yeah,
They
I
would
could
have to come
definitely see
over,
that.
and one of their friends would tell you to go ask her to dance. You didn't learn moves, and in jiu-jitsu, you got to memorize moves.
Yeah. It just all goes down to muscle memory.
Right.
Doing it over and over and over and
But
over.
the ability to remember and muscle memory.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Like, I mean, it'll be forever because if you said, show me a Berimbolo, I'm like, I know I did it once. I don't know. You could do it a couple times, and you'd at least remember how to do it again.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's not. I'm not telling you it's easy. I'm telling you it's the most fun you'll ever have. You'll meet the best group of people. I'm telling my dog friends, just like it is when you go to like a NAVDA chapter or a Federation chapter, or you got a group of people you hunt with every year and you look forward to it. All right, here's the analogy. I look forward to the first hunting trip going to South Dakota. There's a core group of my friends that are going to be there, and I'm so excited. We're going to have some beer. We're going to run our dogs. We're going to shoot some birds. We're going to cook together. We're going to laugh, right?
Yeah.
That's how I get to feel 4 days a week coming in here.
Oh, I'm glad you feel like
You know what I mean?
that.
I mean, I look forward to that, but that can only happen so many
Yeah.
times a year.
Right.
This happens at least for me,
Yeah.
4 or 5 times a week, depending on how many times I come in. So I am.
Oh, I didn't know you felt that way. That's sweet.
Why do you think I'm here all the time?
I know.
Of course.
Well, I don't know.
Just to prove that I'm a badass old man?
Exactly. You never know.
You never know. No, there's no ego. My ego was checked at the door a long time ago. I do like beating up a new guy, though.
I know you do.
Just a little bit.
You love it.
Just a little bit. But you don't understand how it feels to be on the bottom every
I
match.
know.
Like every match,
I
I got to
know.
get to my side. I can't get up.
know.
The same way I lost in Vegas. I was so scared.
I know. I'm sorry you felt that way.
So did you watch it live?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
tough.
that was.
It was tough.
That was.
We'll
sad.
go into some other details in another episode, ongoing episode, as I interview some people from the school. Haley might be interviewing some people on her own. We don't know what's going to happen with
Yeah,
this.
we
We're
don't
just
know
having
yet.
some jiu-jitsu fun.
Yeah.
Go to Haley's Instagram, Haley Westcomb.
Haley.Westcomb.
Haley.Westcomb.
Yep.
Go to her Instagram, and she'll have a little video of our chat, just a few minutes. You'll see the gym behind us. It's all nice and clean and quiet now, but that's not the way it looked this morning, and it won't look like that tomorrow morning
Or tonight.
or tonight.
Yeah.
What do you hear, every day of the week?
Every day.
Every day.
Yep. Every single day.
And you went to the tournament
multiple
to
times
root
a
them
day.
on.
Yeah, multiple times a day, every day, 7 days a week. It's my life. I told you.
Academy 231.
I go to sleep thinking about jiu-jitsu, wake up thinking about jiu-jitsu. I dream about jiu-jitsu. People probably don't believe me when I say that, but it's serious.
I don't.
You don't believe me?
No. I believe you because I do that with some other things.
Yeah. I
But
can
not
see that.
every day with other things.
Right.
Except when I had a construction company, I was like, oh, what am I doing today?
Yeah.
But like, do you rehearse in your head, like even?
Yeah, if I'm like laying there at night and I can't go to sleep, I'll just like imagine like me at a tournament.
Somebody stuffs their head in your ribs and you put your leg over their neck and you
Yeah, exactly.
choke the life out of them.
Yep. Yeah. So when people ask me like, "Oh, are you going to quit? Oh, are you going to do this forever?" Yes, I am. Because if I didn't think about this all the time, then I would be like, I'd have some doubts, but
You will be
I'm constantly
you
thinking
know
about
how high of a
jiu-jitsu.
rank you'll be by the time you're my age, Haley?
Oh yeah. It's going to be crazy.
You'd be like a 47-degree black belt.
I don't think that's a thing, but
Okay, it's
maybe.
not. Bye-bye.